What's good, YouTube? It's your boy TSO Sage, and welcome back to another episode of Word is Law. For my first time viewers, Word is Law is a series where I give my takes on random ass subjects. It could be sports, gaming, music, literally anything. As for why I call it Word is Law, my shit valid. Speaking of valid, although this ain't gonna mainly be a football channel, we definitely talking about that top 100 list, cause that's just some bullshit. What happened to my man Wentz? Bro, yeah, alright, that's some bullshit. But the NFL top 100 is not the main subject of the video. Nah, the purpose of this video is to talk about how motherfuckers necessarily have opinions on the game, but don't exactly watch the game, and they end up spinning a narrative. Honestly, this is in every sport ever, but of course it's most prominent to me, or at least in my opinion, in basketball. And the reason I think it's basketball is simply because how the game is structured. There's only 5 players on the court. One star can change the dynamic of a game just like that. Like, I think it's a lot of pressure in basketball. Closest thing rivaling that would be a quarterback of the national football team, which again, we are going to get later into because I'm a football fan as well. Even though there's typically basketball content, I just got to talk about this list, man. But I'm going to kick the video off like this so everyone can at least be on the same page for the time being. Have you guys ever watched the game and you've had some friends watch the game with you? You guys are talking about the game, whatever, during and of course after the game. And then like an hour or two later, someone who clearly didn't watch the game comes in, pulls up stats and says, oh, X and Y player played terrible. When in reality, that 5 of 16 ain't gonna show them that the player just hit a game winner. Or the below 60% completion percentage ain't gonna show you that he just went 6 assists and threw you a game winning drive. Shit like that. And now you gotta explain to that person what happens, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh shit, he had a good game. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that just ruins my whole vibe of the game. Like, you can really ruin my night type shit. We could have just seen game 7 of the finals, the motherfucking Super Bowl, motherfucking FIFA Club, WrestleMania, whatever the fuck you want to call the shit. Could be the best sports night of my life. I promise you, someone does that to me, it irritates me for the rest of the night. It just fundamentally does not sit right with me. And no, before y'all even start, I'm not saying that you have to watch every single game of a player to assess that player's talent. But I do feel it is required that you have at least watched some of the player outside of highlight reels, and at bare minimum have looked at them from an unbiased perspective. For example, and yes, I'm going to use this segment to segue myself towards football, let's take Mike Evans and Amari Cooper. Both amazing talents. Who you think is better is honestly up to you. To be quite honest with you, that doesn't really bother me. I personally go Evans, but if you think Cooper's better, I completely understand the argument. Power to you. But to be quite forward with you guys, me and my friends had this debate not too long ago, and one of the guys who were arguing for Evans, of course, said he has better hands and catches the football better. While most of the Cooper fans deferred to that argument and countered with Coop's route running, one of them emphatically disagreed, saying that Coop actually has the better hands because his career catch percentage is higher. Let me break that down into 2 separate segments as to why that is just... damn, what a bad argument. Because if we take that argument at base value and apply it to other players for consistency reasons, that would mean you would believe in the following. Austin Eckler is a better receiver than Christian McCaffrey. Julio's hands are drastically worse than Keenan Allen's, and in fact, Keenan Allen has better hands than DeAndre Hopkins. You see, the phrase numbers never lie is true. Numbers do not lie. Numbers do not ever lie. But they can deceive you. Numbers can't represent themselves, therefore numbers are often misrepresented or twisted to a biased opinion. And the main counterpoint to the stat head junkies that people don't typically say, that's why I'm slept on by the way, is the fact that numbers aren't also valued the same. Who's to say receiving yards aren't more important than catch percentage? Or if you want to take it to basketball, let's say the argument is who's a better scorer, who's to say that points per game isn't more valuable than field goal percentage? I know the numbers don't. You have to represent those numbers to appear that way, but at the end of the day, the numbers aren't more significant than each other. They're just numbers. Therefore, if numbers never lied and we all agreed with any stat description on those numbers, not only would we be confused and not know which numbers actually matter more, but we'd be living a lie at that point. There is never a, oh haha, this stat says this, therefore you lose, I win, this debate is mine. That does not exist in sports debate. That does not exist in sports. But then there's also the second point that you guys suck at representing them. And honestly, that's not more important what I previously said in the general scheme of things, but it is to me. Because if you're gonna be that kind of guy, at least be sensible about it, right? Because although I do think Mike Evans is better than Amari Cooper, if I had to do something off the dome for stats-wise Amari Cooper being better, I guess I would say something like, oh, on only one more target, he has more yards and a way higher catch percentage. Something like that. Like, see how an only stat-based argument still sounds stupid, but at least it's better than me saying, oh, he catches better, look at his catch percentage. Also concede that if you're going specifically off of stats alone, Mike Evans is better than Amari Cooper, but you get the point of my argument anyway. For real, y'all don't even be knowing what some of these stats mean. I bet y'all don't actually know what PER is, or what catch percentage is, or what QBR even is, quite honestly. Like, y'all dead ass be letting stats you don't know carry your debate, and it's sad. You don't have to be complex or use big words to win a debate. Honestly, I feel like I made all my points already, but if you need a bigger emphasis on them, look no further than the top 100. Now, I could be mistaken, I'm gonna just point that out now, but I do believe that it was 57%, if not a little bit more, of the players that voted this year. Fuck the Dak Prescott versus Wentz thing for a second. Just real talk, fuck that shit. Ryan Tannehill better than Carson Wentz? Really? And see, that's what I'm talking about for those who are actually about to say yes. Like, yeah, we know statistically Ryan Tannehill had a better year than Carson Wentz. Shit, statistically, doesn't Ryan Tannehill have like the best passer rating in the league or some shit like that? It pisses me off when I find that players may have the same flawed ideologies as we do, because clearly the players who think Ryan Tannehill plays better football than Carson Wentz are on stat head time. There are certain moments that Wentz has had. There's certain plays that he can make that only a few can. Same thing with throws. Only a few can make the throws that Wentz can. This man was about to be an MVP before injury, and now he's not even 110th. You're saying he's not as talented or more skilled than Ryan Tannehill? And I love Tannehill. Not only did he get the Ravens out the way, but I also love him for the fact that he really showed that it takes a long time for you to be a registered bust as a quarterback. Although that may fuck some franchises up, at least for the players, it shows that you got a lot of time in this league. Don't panic if you're not a fucking superstar day one. But dog, I mean, I'm not even gonna say much. Like, dog, you watch them play, shut the fuck up. And I know I was hinting at talking about the top 100 throughout the video, but the more I think about it, I think I just want to have a whole separate video on the top 100, because that's just the beginning of my frustration. Like, y'all dead ass put Patrick Mahomes 4th, the Super Bowl MVP 4th, all those points, all those fourth quarter comebacks in a playoff series. Like, the standards aren't the same, bro. I swear it's biased too. See that? I'm gonna just keep coming up with videos, because Bias Run the Sports World is definitely a video I already have recorded as well. Y'all gotta stay tuned to the channel, man. I deadass be thinking of video ideas as I be talking. Like, I deadass have a note of like 8 different videos, some recorded, some not. But yeah, to wrap this up, for the love of God, man, please start watching the sports games that you talk about. Watching a damn highlight reel ain't shit. A highlight reel is a highlight reel with an already pushed narrative. But if you watch the game in your entirety, you can make your own opinion, even if it's based with stats. Not just stats or not just highlights or anything. You get to make your own opinion, and I guarantee it sounds smarter that way. Watch the damn sports or players that y'all be talking about. And for the love of God, if you ain't watched the game that everybody talking about, bro, don't speak on the game. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, bruh. But on that note, this has been your boy TSO Sage, man. We only gotta do 8-minute videos now, so I'ma holla at y'all next week.